All right, so this is part 2 of the Algebra 1 SOL review. We'll be talking about expressions, radicals, and I have it written down, substituting things into expressions and equations. And remember, you do everything by hand first. And as a check, you could use these tips and tricks. So I'll share my screen, and we've been looking at the Algebra 1 SOL. And you could find this if you search VDOE Algebra 1 release test. You could find this yourself and do these problems. You could also go to Jefferson Lab or JLab, and you could find practice problems there. And they'll be right from an SOL. I believe you could go to TestNav on your own too and look up things there. And we'll try to get you these resources too. Anyway, so with expressions, you have to do these a little differently, but we're still using Desmos, and Desmos is going to be the calculator you use on the SOL. If you watch part 1, I talked about that, and it's going to look just like this. This one says a formula to find the angle measures of an isosceles triangle is shown. 180 equals 2x plus y, which equation can be used to find x. So you have to at least think to yourself, what is going on in this? So, okay, it's talking about an isosceles triangle, blah, 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 but really, what is it saying? It's saying that this equation is really the same as one of these, except this one's saying x equals, and it has all that same stuff. You could even look in this. Here, maybe something simplified, maybe. But you can see they're the same. So what we do when we're looking for equivalent or the same expressions, it's as easy as typing this into the first line and typing these into the following lines. I'll show you. So we have 180 equals 2x plus y. 180 equals 2x plus y. And I just want to say there are different variations of this. So beware of that. So I zoomed out so I could see my line. Now I see my line, and you think about it, it's 180. So I had to zoom out to get to at least, oh, there's a 90, right? And there's the 180. So, okay, that makes sense. I was seeing those numbers in the solutions. If I wanted to go back, I would just click home and it would go to my normal window. So there's the problem. I want to see which one of these matches that. So I just got to type these in. So x equals 180 minus y over 2. X equals, and I'm going to type divided by the little slash, and it pulls up a fraction. 180 minus y over 2. I believe that's what it was, right? 180 minus y over 2, yeah. And you could see, where'd my black line go? Oh, this red line covered it. And here's how you could tell for sure. See these colors over here? If you click them, they go away. If you click them back, they come back. So you have your pointer there. Keep clicking. You could see the red. Now look at the graph. You can see the red completely covers the black. That's your answer. When it completely matches like that, that is your answer. And since it's just a linear function, it's that simple. So the answer is A. And that's how we're going to do a lot of these. Some of them are not that simple, though. All right, so the next one I want to do is on page 7. Okay. So there's a lot to type here. One sixth. And like I said, practice typing these so you know how to type it. Don't try to figure that out on the SOL when you're taking it. Yeah, I was typing that one wrong and I didn't even know it because I wasn't looking. But that's okay. It doesn't take too long. And remember, I believe you have all the time you need on the SOL. So now you could see that there's a problem here. I typed everything in just like the original, and there's a problem. It says, try adding an equal sign to turning this into an equation. Well, I don't want to do that. This was not an equation. It says which expression. The problem here, and remember I said sometimes it gets a little more complicated. This is one time. In expressions, you can use X and Y, you can use any letters you want. But when you're graphing, X and Y mean a certain thing, right? They mean a certain thing. So sometimes we have to switch the letters. So instead of X, I'm going to take out X and just put, I don't know, A. A. Instead of Y, let's put, I don't know, B. And B. And now it says something else. Now it says too many variables. Try defining A or B. So now we have to define them. To define them, you have to say A equals, we could say 5, and B equals 6. All right, so like I said, it does get a little complicated. So at this point, it's kind of like, well, what's happening? So let me review. We changed the X and Y's to A's and B's respectively. And then we said A equals 5 and B equals 6. I randomly picked 5 and 6. You could pick any number you want, but I would keep it simple, okay? Because the bigger numbers you pick, the more complicated numbers you pick, the more complicated your answers are going to be. So right now I have -7, right? So what Desmos is doing is plugged in 5 for A and plugged in 6 for B. That's what happens when you say a letter equals something. It plugs it in for you automatically. That's pretty cool. And you're going to use that later. When it plugged it in, it said it equals -7. So, okay, if I plug in these, maybe it'll do the same. And whichever one equals -7, that's our answer. So let me try X minus 6Y. And it can't be X minus 6Y. It has to be A, because remember A is X, minus 6B. A minus 6B. Well, that's not it. How about A minus 2B? This is letter B. That's it. It's letter B. Letter B is X minus 2Y, or A minus 2B. Remember, X is A and Y is B. So the answer to this one is B, right here. So that one got a little more complicated. Let's get a little more practice with that one. And we will go to question on page 12. So this one says, which of the following is equivalent to A to the 12th, B to the 2nd over A to the 3rd, B to the 6th? And these are really easy to do by hand, but I do want to show you a way to check it. Remember, that's what this stuff is about, a way to check it. Okay, so let's go over here. I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. I'm going to keep my A as 5 and my B as 6 because we're going to need that. So over here, I'll type A to the 12th, B to the 2nd. I'm just typing the problem in. A to the 3rd. What was it? B to the 6th. All right, so you get that as your answer. When you plug 5 and 6 into the problem, you get 1507. And some people are like, oh, well, that's the answer. Well, no, it can't be, because look at your letter choices. Is 1507 any of the choices? No. What you have to do is type in A, type in B, type in C, D, and see which one matches the 1507. All right, I'm going to type in letter choice A, which is A to the 9th. And then on the bottom, It's b to the fourth. And look at that, that's a perfect match. The first letter choice, A, is a perfect match. 1507, 1507. That's it. So letter A for this one is the right answer. Let's look at page 10. So this one says, which polynomial is equivalent to this expression if n doesn't equal -1? So we don't have to worry about the n doesn't equal -1. We already know that, it's fine. All we need to do is type this in and type these in and figure out which one is the same. Okay, so 3 plus n. And remember, it's probably not going to like n. Let me type x instead. Minus 2x squared over 1 plus x. So it graphs something already, okay? So remember, we're looking for something that would cover the graph. So now let me type in letter choice A. It was 2x minus 3. And remember, n equals, n is x. We're just changing the letter. All right, so that's not it. You can see they just cross over. They make an x. I'm going to turn that off so it doesn't confuse me. 3 minus 2x. I think that's it because I don't see my purple. Remember to click this, you could see it covers. So it's letter choice B. Letter choice B is 3 minus 2n. All right, that's our 3 minus 2x. That's it. Okay, so the next one I want to do is this, the square root of 128 in radical form. These are tricky, so you really want to use this trick to check your answer. So we could type in, we need the square root, which is right here. So you pull up the keyboard and you'll have these things on the SOL, square root of 128. And it gives you an answer, 11.3, blah, blah, blah. But you can see that none of that is here. So what you have to do is type in letter choice A, B, C, D, and see which one matches. So I'm going to type in 8 times the square root of 2. And look at that, it's a match. Letter A is a match, 11.3. Now with this one, if you didn't have letter choices, that's not really a good way to check your answer. So that wouldn't really work if you didn't have, if it was like one you had to type yourself, you would need to know how to do it by hand. But if you have multiple choice, then you could check it this way. All right, this time I'm gonna go to question 8, and it's the cubed root of 48, which is equivalent to that. So one of these has to match this, the cubed root of 48. So let me go to my functions, and under miscellaneous, you'll see this right here. That allows you to put a little 3 there. And like I said, you got to play with decimals before the day of the test, so you know how to use it. The cube root of 48 is 3.6 and whatever else. So let's type in our answer choices. 2 times the cubed root. And once again, I got to come over here, click that. Cubed root of 6. That's letter choice A. And look at that, letter choice A is a perfect match. 3.6, 3.6, and it has all the same decimals. So letter A would be the perfect answer. We're going to do about 2 or 3 more. These are a little different. These are just plugging in, but I wanted to show you how they might look different. So it says if f of x equals the quantity of x minus 3 squared plus 1, what is f of 6? Some of you might be saying, what does that even mean? Well, that's the reason, and we talked about it in the last video. Why is it f of x? Well, this is why. It shows you what they want x to be. F of what? Oh, they want x to be 6. So instead of putting an x there, you're going to put a 6. All you need to know is we're going to type this right here, the x minus 3 squared plus 1, but instead of x, we're going to put a 6. And Desmos is going to pop out the answer. So that way you could check it. So we've got x minus 3 squared plus 1. X minus 3 squared plus 1. But like I said, take out the x, and we want to plug in, it said f of 6, plug in 6, and you see you get 10. So the answer is C. If I go too fast, just go back and watch it again. Next, I'm going to go to question 13. So this one says, what's the value of this expression when n equals negative 15? And it gives you that. That's absolute value. So to get absolute value, we could come up here and let's see, where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's actually, we don't even need that functions. It's right here. It shows the absolute value, but I need a negative 2 outside of it. And then inside, I need not n plus 6, but I need negative 15 plus 6. And what does it give me? Negative 18, which is right there. So these are very simple. You're just plugging in for a variable, and Desmos pops out the answer so you can match your own. Last one. I want you to try this one. On page 3, it's the sample B problem. You try that one. All right, the next part will be coming.